G'day, I'm Graham, and there's been a lot of talk recently about scalextrics and their pricing and their quality, and so I thought it was about time I put my two bobs worth in. Um, Now, what got me started thinking about this was that Dave from Slot R put out a video about a nondescript looking scalextrics Ford Escort that Pat Slot sent him. Now, Pat didn't want this car and he sent it over to Dave, and Dave waxed lyrical about this car and gave its full history and said how important that was to him and to club racing in Britain. And that got me thinking about, now, why do I buy certain cars and what's in my collection? The first car I bought was in 1965, a scalextrics red Aston Martin. There wasn't a lot of choice in those days, and I don't remember many racing cars being available, so I bought what was the nicest looking car in the shop. But then since then, any car I bought, I always went for a race car, a liveried race car. And so in the early 80s, I bought a Porsche 956 and a Jaguar, Castrol Jaguar. We ran those for a few years, and I've still got them in the cupboard here, of course. Yeah, so I only buy race cars, and mainly Australian touring cars and supercars. I've got, the very first ones I think scalextrics put out, which was the Ford Cortina, but I run through that. I've got Moffat's Mustang, and then I've got a whole series of the Tiranas and then Commodores. But the reason I buy those is because that's where my interest lies, is in supercar racing, and the history of those cars means something to me. And so, I don't go and buy scalextrics taxis, police cars, fire cars, movie cars, or even road cars. The one exception to that being this white kit, the white kit that I have here in front of me, which was a Pro Performance kit put out by scalextric about 14 years ago. And it was brilliant. It is a brilliant car and a brilliant kit. And they weren't all that dear. I think they were about $20 dearer than a standard scalextric car at the time. So, but not only do you get the car body, the underpan, the chassis, you get 36 body screws, 2 ball race bearings for the rear, 5 pinion gears, 5 spur gears, 5 axles, and 3 motors, 20,000, 25,000 and 30,000 RPM motors. So you could build what you liked out of it. You could make it into a real hot rod for a wide open circuit, or you can gear it to suit your more technical tracks. I've got one geared to what's probably fairly standard gearing, and it runs very well on my track. My son's got one which he souped the gears up on, and it really flies off the line, but it's not quite as fast at top speed. But again, still beats mine for lap records. They built, the first year they built them, they built 4 of these kits. 2 of these kits. They bought the Aston Martin, and they bought a NASCAR, Chevy NASCAR. The second time round, I believe it was an Audi R8 and an LMP Aston Martin. But I only ever bought the one. I should have bought some more because they're great. But anyway, let's get back to the topic about scalextrics. And as I say, with the cars I've got, I buy them because they mean something to me. Therefore, I'll keep buying scalextrics cars because they're the ones producing the cars that mean something to me. I haven't found any other manufacturer that has a range of them. Carrera released one AMG Mercedes, which was the Sun Energy Bathurst winner from 2 years ago, the 12-hour race. I bought that. I'm not impressed with it as a car. It rattles and bangs and clangs, but I'll have to do some work on it, see if we can get it going better. I've bought Slotted have released the Nissan Skyline GDR, and I bought that one. And they also released the Porsche 956, which Peter Brock and Larry Perkins raced at Le Mans. And that interests me, of course, because I actually have a Peter Brock signed poster of that car. So it was another one that I wanted to have in my collection. But as far as the prices of them goes, they're a little dearer than some. The last one I bought, I couldn't get from all the major retailers, so I found it in a little country town, and I paid $20 over the odds for it there. I paid $115 for it, but it was a car I wanted to have, so therefore, I had to weigh up whether it was worth that extra $20, and to me it was at the time. So I bought it. So I'm not going to stop buying Scalextric cars as long as they keep producing the cars that I want. If anybody else produces them, well, then I'll look into those. I probably won't be buying BRMs, Revo Sclots, or any of those, because that's just getting out of my price range totally. I can't afford that sort of money for cars, so I'm down to buying only about 2 or 3 cars a year now. So if I went into that range of cars, I'd be getting one a year, which just doesn't suit me. So so I think Scalextrics are paying big royalties for all the liveries that they're putting out. They don't seem to put out any generic cars, so they're all liveried cars, which again are costing them money to produce. So I think I'm just happy to put up with it and buy them. I know they're not as fast as some, but hey, for the track I'm running them on and me by myself sitting here in my shed, they do well. They'll suit me down to the ground. All right, well, thank you for your time, and I hope to get another video or so out shortly, and we'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.